Leave down below what your favorite acronyms are and which ones you find confusing.
Mine is let's move on.
That's not an acronym, but we can figure out a way to make it one for episode 1 of season 2. So here we are. You've been waiting for it. We've been teasing it. Episode 12, final episode of the season.
We're here.
We made it.
Wow.
And we brought some, and we picked up some hitchhikers.
We did. We just went to some random people on the street and we're just like, hey.
Join us for the podcast. You guys look like rundown dads. Come and join us. But before we tell you about them, let's tell you about us. I'm Daniel.
I'm Paul.
And this is
the Dad Collective Podcast.
Episode 12, like I said.
That's it.
It's crazy. And so we thought special. Again, like I said, we've been teasing it for weeks.
Well, we've been talking about these guys. They've been popping up in conversations.
Stories, for sure.
They don't watch it, so.
Yeah, so now they get to be in it. So first of all, I'll do the first introduction. Over here in this green shirt, that is Daniel Schreiber. Don't blow kisses to the camera.
Also, the audio people just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. So that's Schreiber. We've been before we introduce our next guest. We've all been friends since when you came here. What you were in grade what?
Grade three.
Grade 3.
Summer going to third grade.
Third grade.
Yeah.
Did you come mid-year?
Summer going into third grade.
You could just hold it a little closer to your face. Just a little. He's used to holding things close to his face.
Ayo.
Phallic. Summer going into third grade.
Yeah, so you were there for all of grade 3.
All of grade 3.
All of grade 3.
Nice.
Miss Sullivan's class.
Miss Sullivan.
She got married, Miss Lusk. She could be divorced now, a long time ago.
We'll have to
17
look her up on Facebook. We'll figure it out.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's we'll find out about who you are and what kind of kids you have. But I'll let Paul introduce our next wonderful, sloppy looking guest who's melting into the floor.
He's like 6'7", sitting on my dog's beanbag chair. The one, the only Jeremy Abigail came in grade 1. Grade 1?
Kindergarten. You're the talking podcast.
No, I just don't know.
Oh, you don't remember? Where did you come from? Did you come from another public school or did you like import from another country?
Like I was at Orthodox Hebrew school before York Hill.
Got it. So you were like in kindergarten?
Junior, senior kindergarten. I think it was grade 1. I don't think I did kindergarten.
You came to
I think I started in Miss Tucker's.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was grade 2, Miss Tucker, no?
Grade 1.
It was grade 1. Miss Von
Mother
Gutenberg.
Grade 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
We probably did it for different years.
So the whole point of the story is we have all known each other since we were, 6, 7 years old?
Yeah, if you
We've
can't
known
tell
each other
by-
the longest.
Since kindergarten.
Since maybe even before.
You were my first friend. Like legit first friend in Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made him say dumb shit.
All downhill.
Yeah, we taught him. You taught him English and just taught him all the bad words.
For the one guy to teach someone English, it's
funny because I don't remember learning English, like the process of learning English. I don't remember it.
It was me. You can thank me for everything.
I will not be doing that.
So we'll start with for our final episode. This is really just like we've been talking about our friends and our other co-dads. Now, Paul at this point is the only person here who's not a dad yet.
Well, when they're watching, I will be.
They will be, but again, all season 1 is you're not a dad yet.
Not a
so
dad.
we're not pretending like you are right now. Even though the episode you'll have a kid at this point.
Should we name him?
Yeah. What are you gonna name your son for today?
Let's name him.
Why don't you combine their 2 names?
Jordan.
Jordan?
No,
Jordan.
Jordan.
I like it.
It should be Jordan. That's what you should actually name him. And he'll be correcting everyone. Like, Jordan, it's Jordan.
Yeah.
It's Jordan.
There's never any Bort license plates.
Soft J.
Soft J.
Yarden.
I like it. It's like a fancy jean brand.
But yeah, so we got a bunch of dads here, and so we thought we'd quote unquote gang up on Paul and instill all our final dad advice before the big day comes. But before we do that, we'll start with Schreiber. Schreiber, give us your rundown as a dad, your kids, your wife, their names, any funny stories. Just give us the overview of the kind of dad you are and who you are a dad to.
You're really amped up right now. You're
fun.
This is good.
Listen, usually you for second episode you're like sleeping on the mic, but no, I'm higher. I'm hotter. Go.
You're higher?
I'm higher and hotter.
How am I the only non
dad? That's the whole podcast.
All right.
Okay, Schreiber, you're a dad.
Not for long though.
Tell me what's going down.
3 kids.
Okay.
1 wife.
Yep.
The entire time.
Yeah.
All 3 kids.
Go ahead.
1 wife.
And what are your children's names? How old are they?
Her name's Christina.
That's your wife.
Met her in university.
Yeah.
We've been together ever since. So it's like 19 years.
Yeah.
Half her life.
Yeah.
Better half, for sure. Like that's
it's
the
debatable.
better. I think it's the better half of her life. I'd like to think that.
Okay.
3 kids.
Except at her high school, like on her like
She
yearbooks,
peaked.
like these are the best days of my life. So
Yeah, hands down.
she brings receipts.
All
She called
perspective, though, right? Like she didn't know she was going to meet me. She didn't know
We
she
don't
would
care
better
about your
days ahead.
relationship. Tell us about your
Right.
married now kids.
3 kids. Oldest is Harlow. She's 4.
Yeah.
Got Max. He's 3. Got Evan, who's 10 months. And
Harlow's still only 4.
yeah.
I feel like she should be 30 by now.
Yeah,
I
the way
know.
you talk about her is that she's so
Well,
smart.
Well, I treat her that way.
Like a 30-year-old?
Go
Like
wash
a
the
30.
car.
Yeah,
Does she
go
pay-
make some money. Go
Does she
do
pay
something.
rent?
Freeload her.
She's paying rent?
A little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which so 2 boys and a girl.
2 boys and a girl. And my oldest and my youngest are technically fraternal twins.
How's that
because
work?
Evan was frozen for 4.5 years. Both
Oh,
IVF
yeah.
babies.
Science.
Yeah.
So is that called something officially?
It's a fraternal twin. It's the same
Same thing.
load of making the baby.
Same
Same
what?
load?
Load of making the baby. That's as scientific as I'm going to get.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm not a
That's-
doctor.
That's a scientific term coined
Oh,
by Ron
yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you meet the doctor, it's like when you're doing that, it's like, all right, now we're going to just go in here. We're going to insert this into you, and we're going to need you to drop some loads
Loads.
into this bucket. Like, oh,
I have an entire Netflix. Like I have a hard 10-minute stand-up bit on just going through the IVF process.
You have a Netflix special coming out?
It's a Netflix special coming out.
So then you should learn how to talk into a microphone and hold that closer to your face.
Oh my God, Paul!
it's not bad.
It's not bad at
I
all.
hear the echo. I hear the echo.
There's no echo.
There's echo.
I listen. There's post edit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's as much as I really want to know about Schreiber.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
How close is
We're
the
moving on.
microphone
that's
supposed
good.
to be?
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd rather you hold it at any distance and move it less than
Yeah.
hold it at the right distance and move it more.
He's
So
like,
get
"Wait,
comfortable and keep
just-
it. So Jared, tell Paul what's your dad's situation.
Why's he gotta tell
any
me?
words of wisdom? Because he can see you better. It's hard for me to
Yes.
look at him this way.
Your eyes just burn.
I can't turn left.
So, Jeremy, tell us about your family. As he still moves around the microphone.
I'm
I think
sorry.
he's like Bon Jovi over here.
It's heavy.
Just tell us it's heavy into the microphone.
Anyway, I'm a father of 3 children. I have a son and 2 daughters.
What's the order? What's the names?
Yeah,
What's
like,
the ages?
give us a fill in that meat, man.
Firstborn son, Hudson, 5, 3, 1. They're very much in sync with Schreiber's
Did you guys
children.
plan it?
It's just weird telling you about my family when you know about my
I
family.
get that. You get
Right?
used to it. You get
But
used
the
to it.
thousands of people listening don't.
The millions of people listening.
Millions of people.
But hold on a second. So,
yeah.
what the audience doesn't know, because you're talking for that, is that your wife and Schreiber's wife are essentially best friends,
Correct.
and so they did. So did they act? I know because obviously you did IVF, so you can't.
I'll tell you
fully
the
plan.
story.
How did it line up so well?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story.
Let's hear this.
Cube nightclub.
Oh my! I lived across the street from there.
Cube nightclub.
Yeah.
Bottle service.
Okay.
The 2 groups. My girlfriend's group. At the time, she wasn't fiance. So
How long ago
girlfriend.
was this? Give me the.
No.
It's like
They've known each
21.
other
Yeah.
since university, high school. We've all known each other for a really long time. They've known each other
Oh,
separately.
he's giving the romantic version.
It's
where
not a
Cube
romantic
nightclub
version.
sucks in her
No,
face
it's
on
just
the
the
dance
real-
floor. It doesn't
But
exist.
hold on, back
So,
up. What
this is-
happened at Cube? I don't understand the
They-
connection.
Nothing.
They made out on the dance floor, and I looked at Chrissy.
What's
and
that?
Who's
and
they?
Who's that?
Jeremy
Me
and
and
Tracy.
Tracy.
Okay.
And I looked at Chrissy and I said, "This better last forever because I'm not dealing with this."
So that's how Jeremy and Tracy met. But my question
No, that's how they hooked
is,
up. They knew each other before legit.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that how long have Tracy and Chrissy known
Oh,
each
since
other?
high school.
And did they always have the plan? Because again, people who are about to have kids, like Paul and Jess,
Yeah.
sometimes they want to go through it with someone at the same time so they can have the same times off and have all
I
that
imagine
stuff.
that generally, like girls or guys, they have fantasies rather than plans. Like you plan to
But
have.
did they
this-
talk about it?
Yeah, it was very natural though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
No,
like
for
we
Schreiber,
were trying
it
No,
was
to
just
sing
I
everything
think,
everything
no.
else to.
I'll
Like,
say I
we-
definitely think the Abigails were going for it, and then we were like, okay, let's do
Like
it.
they were like,
Because we were together for so long
Or-
before, and we were just like traveling and doing whatever. We were putting off having kids in a sense.
Yeah.
And then when our best friends
Started
talking about it and doing it, we're like, okay, we're gonna jump on this train and let's all have babies together. The Abigails had babies really easily, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we had to go through IVF, and funny enough, like Max was in the middle of the 2 naturally.
Naturally.
Yeah.
sandwiched in there.
Because the third baby, it was like this. We went to you talk to your fertility doctor on an ongoing basis, I guess, once you're going through the IVF process of a gone through. So we had one more embryo.
Yeah. What's for those who don't know what IVF is, because obviously it seems like it's more common and it's a struggle, I guess, because things aren't working out naturally. So
Yeah.
Right.
is it
So-
stressful? Is that
it's much more stressful for the girl than the guy.
It's a process.
In my
it's medical.
opinion.
You have
Yeah,
to do
but it's
things.
like it's a progressive stage, right? So like you can't have it naturally. So okay, try this, and then if that doesn't work, try that, and if that doesn't work, try IVF.
Got it.
And IVF is basically they make the baby in a lab.
And IVF is the last.
The last straw.
No, because then you can if the embryo doesn't work out and you can still get another embryo, you can always put the embryo in a surrogate.
Got it.
But
Okay.
also if that doesn't work out, you can also say, okay, maybe we take like your sperm and somebody else's egg and somebody's egg.
And then
You
obviously
can
there's
surrogate.
adoption.
So there's a whole bunch of
Dogs, there's kidnapping.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I
Being
went
a father's the
to
best.
I went to camp with a girl who was a surrogate for lots of kids. She did it often.
yeah?
She enjoyed it. So
That's
and I
interesting.
think you get
That's-
paid well for it too. I think you
It's
get
a lot
good
of money.
That
Yeah.
is such a weird
It's a lot of money.
job.
From the person who needs it, or
No, from the baby. The
No.
baby comes out and writes you a check.
Yeah.
Who do I make this out to?
Oh,
You're
that's a great
actually-
journey. I like this capsule.
I think we talked
No,
about
the-
this before. You actually are born in debts in the States. Like babies are writing freaking checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you mean? What are you talking about?
no, I guess like what do you, I mean like from the hospital bill, the baby being born.
Yeah, they just write the checks. Get paid. It's expensive shit.
They bounce most of the time, because you
babies,
can't.
No, you said don't bounce the baby. You said rule number one:
Don't bounce the
the
baby, bounce the check.
Bounce the check.
So are your kids, Schreiber and Jeremy, are your kids close? Are they friends?
Yeah.
Who would you say is like the closest relationship?
it's all the way through.
Probably me and Tracy.
Hey, Al. It's so true.
I thought we weren't going to make
No,
fun
I
of each
know.
other.
Everyone's off limits.
Well, that's exciting. But are they, from a sex, male, female standpoint, are the
It's
oldest
just
ones?
age.
Yeah, it's
Age.
age.
So it's not like the girls are closer to the girls.
No, like Penny and Max love each other.
Like how much
Yeah.
they're gonna get married one day?
Maybe.
Do you fantasize about
And
that?
the older kids
Yeah,
like the
100%.
younger kids because they're always into like babies, right?
It's true.
Like older girls like
The youngest.
like to treat everyone so gently, right?
It's true. And my like, it's funny, Joey and Sunny fight and battle more. And Joey like loves Alice and Sunny. Like, they all love the baby and they want to like treat
That's-
that. Is that the same with
Harlow
Evan?
just
That's gonna
started.
shift.
Yeah.
Just started. Like her love for Evan turned on literally a few days ago.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So you're in a good spot. So hold on a second. Paul. You
Yeah.
know Paul?
This guy, yeah.
This
You know
guy.
this guy?
Hey,
Yeah.
guys.
Paul claims, as three guys here with three kids.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you right
Paul,
now. If this
hold
is
on,
true
hold
or
on,
not.
hold on. Don't
No,
even jump
just
in.
Don't even just let it
Just feel
just let
this.
it go. Yeah.
Just let it simmer. Paul believes wholeheartedly, without having his first kid yet, that there's no possibility
Yeah.
that he and Jess will want more than one kid.
It's not gonna happen.
Thoughts?
It's not gonna happen.
Well,
Thoughts?
people make their decisions. And
Seems
have
like
it
a pretty-
We know that. We know people make their decisions, but do you think that he can make that decision without the first kid being
Yo.
born yet and feeling that love?
Listen,
Always,
Why do you want
we
this
always
kid?
went into it knowing we were going to have multiple.
Why do you want
chins,
this kid?
Hold on.
what's happening here?
Jeremy, you guys went into it knowing you want multiple kids. So
Yeah,
you
we
always
were
play
never
for
Don't
it.
you
in a
want-
situation where.
Don't you want
So-
more? You want more than 3? Don't you want to have another?
I mean,
Announce it live. She's pregnant.
And we go viral. We're waiting for this moment for something, man.
do
Fuck.
you think
want-
that would make it go viral?
No, no
Just
one
some
cares
random
that.
person saying
Wants a
that
fourth
their
kid.
wife is pregnant.
Do you want more kids? Let's keep
I'd
this
love to have
simple
1,000 kids. So-
But like realistically, do you think a fourth is on the table?
I think
According to you.
I don't think that that's on the table. No.
Okay, good. Schreiber, fourth
I would like to have a fourth,
You guys are fucking
and it's
mental.
off the table.
from Chrissy.
Yeah,
She put the line. She's like, "This is my body. I'm not going through this
My
right now."
body, her
my
choice.
It was
choice.
recently put off the table. Like I thought Tracy was
I
still
didn't for a
going
second
for
think
it,
it's my choice.
and then she was just
No
like,
skin off
"Oh,
my
It's
yeah,
back.
never our choice.
Yeah,
But who knows? You never know."
So do you think, Paul, that knowing that you want more than 3 even, do you think Paul could confidently say before his first child is born that he can know that he won't want another?
I think
100%?
that no, you cannot. And in saying so, you are trying to relinquish onto this tiny little bit stringlet of power
Yeah.
that you still have in making decisions in your life.
Yeah, and they're all
And
What?
when this kid comes,
I get that.
you'll make no decisions for yourself anymore.
Who's making the decisions?
You're making the decision.
You
I'm
just
not
said
having
I'm
any
not
more.
making the decision.
You're making the decision. I'm
I'm
not having any more kids.
Yeah, you're stating
And that is just a little hold on to power to yourself.
because soon your decision making will be
Yeah, and then you're
over.
like, oh my god,
Well,
I
what
love this
does
kid. I'm gonna have
Jess have
100
to
of
say
them.
about all of this?
She also wants one, right?
We're only
So you're
doing one.
aligned. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Well, let's put it this way. I postponed my vasectomy 3 times until they called me. I was like, let's just cancel it
Well,
for now.
surprise, it's happening now, and we go
Come
viral.
on.
But I don't know if it was necessarily because of that or just because of the idea of the vasectomy. It was like, if I could just postpone it. It's like,
Were you scared at all?
I mean, it's
Are
not
guys
something
scared
I
of
want.
getting vasectomies? Like, still?
Did you get one?
I didn't know.
I
The
mean, would
reason
you
why I
get one?
did-
Are you scared of one? Or
No,
did you get one?
I was planning on getting one pretty like soon. We knew 3's enough for us. We were happy with that. We got girls, we
At
got
what
boys.
point?
Like right when we decided to have our third, we knew that
Okay.
that would be like our last. Even if it was another girl, I think that would have been our last. I didn't care so much. But so I was willing and ready to go. It's super minimum invasive. It's like literally like you're in and out the same day. It's quick.
Have you watched one?
Why would I have watched one?
Just
My
like
buddy
sneak
said
into a
he-
hospital and just watch
Like
one?
on Pornhub.com, vasectomy.
Yeah.
Sure.
fetish.
James
There's-
sent us a video, and he's waiting in the waiting room of a vasectomy clinic, and it's just guys screaming. I'm like, damn,
There's no way that they heard screaming.
I
Well,
have-
Chrissy wants me to get a
100%.
vasectomy, but I'm like, I'm not that potent in the first place. We had 2 IVF babies, and like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
you guys are probably pretty safe. You guys still
feel pretty
as a
good
married
about it.
couple, and used to, now Paul that is diving into it. Are you guys still use condoms?
so we've been using condoms since I've been refusing to get as a vasectomy.
Okay, so she still
Really?
holds the control.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Jeremy?
like, is that an ultimatum? Like,
No, it's either do this or don't do this. So yeah, it's an ultimatum.
ultimatum.
so
Yeah.
you're
It's a
freaking.
very private
You went back.
conversation.
This is a
There's no
podcast.
private conversation.
This is
Wait a
yeah,
second.
they're clearly
So
our
like,
private.
wait. So like, you're about to bang.
Yeah.
You don't have a condom.
Yeah.
He plans.
But no, what happens?
You
What if you're out?
You want to know what
They
happened?
don't
What
go
happens?
up.
Do you wanna
They
know
have
what
3
happened?
kids.
What happens?
It was a fight.
It was a fight.
It
So
was a
this happened.
fight.
All right,
This
tell
is
us.
happened.
Let's set
This
this
is a
up.
fight.
What's going on here?
This is
A
exactly
fight
what-
in the moment.
in the moment.
I want to hear the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So we were. This is so. Okay, so it goes back to. So this is the fight. So we were in the moment. We're heated. We're getting it on.
We're talking about. It's the whole point is to tell you about dads.
All right, cut off his mic. Continue.
This is about making kids. It's like dad life.
Yeah,
It's-
so
No,
Jeremy,
this
just
is
to, let,
So
just to let you know, storks don't deliver babies.
we're ready to make the sex,
yes.
Okay, nice.
and she says, "Do you have a condom?" And I say,
This is-
It's
no.
so university.
Oh my god.
I said no. You went to Shoppers Drug Mart earlier today.
Why didn't you buy
and,
condoms?
and why didn't you buy the condoms? And she's like, because
They were
it's
out of
your
extra small.
responsibility. And I said, what do you mean it's my responsibility? It's like our responsibility. And she's like, no, everything that has to do with making a child is my responsibility. Birthing a child is my responsibility. This is the one thing you need to do, and out of principle,
Preventing
you're
a
doing
child is your
it's your responsibility. I was like, all right. And so we didn't have
She's
sex
not
that
wrong.
night. She's not
Oh,
wrong.
you both stopped?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
she was like, no, this is your punishment. You didn't get the condoms. And you thought that I was going to get the condoms. I told you to get the condoms for weeks.
So
I just
100%.
had like
You've
a
been
fucking
warned.
hilarious flashback of an episode of Degrassi where the guy goes to buy the condoms and it's the girl's like dad is the pharmacist.
oh my god.
Because I imagine Schreiber's at Shoppers Drug Mart and he's going to buy condoms and Chrissy's parents are there. Like what?
Yeah,
who are
meanwhile,
you?
I
they
think
have
that
3
after
kids.
the first 3 kids, they know we fuck.
No, I get that, but why would you be having sex with a condom? They're
Because
like-
married
Because
people
they're
do
like,
that.
I guess they're not.
This is why people don't get
One.
married.
Okay, so
Listen,
hold on a second.
yes.
So bringing it back because Jeremy wants us to be a dad
Yeah, he's
only
like-
and keep it PG.
Let's talk about
But
that.
I will
Oh.
connect it because my question is so that's how, because Paul isn't in this yet, and really the goal of this is to give him some insight or some look into the future of what his life could be like. But from a sex standpoint, and answer if you're comfortable, this is a safe space.
What position?
But from a
are you in?
sex standpoint, is how is sex, not frequency, but like has it changed now that there's kids who are old enough in your house to walk around? Or are there any stories connected to the fact that the kids are there? Or is it all status quo?
But you need like what was it like in university? What was it like before you were married?
That's true, but I'm wondering
Because
like,
you
if
need to see the. I
but
need
I'm
a-
just
I need
saying,
a
but
pie
like now,
graph.
like these dads, like does that change? Because I mean, I feel like that people don't know that. I don't
We
know.
actually
I don't even know
haven't-
the
we haven't
answer.
even talked
Well,
about it.
We
it's
haven't.
tough. It's tough when you have very young babies that depend on their mother, right?
Yeah,
So depending on how you're, raising your children and structuring how the mother takes care of the time, right?
So there's that
Where there's
phase when it's
co-sleeping, right?
newborn, but
Co-sleeping.
then, yeah, co-sleeping. But then,
Yeah.
like, they're old enough to walk around. That's a whole other set of potential problems.
Like walking.
And are
in.
you
So are you
guys
saying
facing that
before
now?
children, you would just randomly like have sex in the
Not
in the
randomly,
living
but I
room
wouldn't. I
and be
wouldn't.
like
Yes.
I wouldn't be.
all
Yes,
the time? Okay, so
sometimes.
Yes.
But I also wouldn't be so conscious of like my door being closed, right? Like the little things.
fair enough.
Are they sleeping yet? Have they been
That's
sleeping long enough?
100%.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think we.
I feel like
Not when
I'm,
the kids are awake. I think is
It's always
a
when the
fair
kids are
argument. Yeah, fair enough.
I'm like I'm ready to go all
Yeah,
the
we know.
time.
He's wearing a condom right
And I've
now.
just been I just wait. I just
Pull your
wait to
pants
be
down.
told.
Let's see.
I just wait to be told that this is the time to have sex. It could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. It could be any situation.
So your kids are like in the basement playing.
It doesn't matter. She's like, this is the time. Be like, if you calculated, you're smarter than me in the house geopolitics of what's going on.
Yeah.
These 3.5 minutes have been allocated in your mind.
So
I got to
you
take
trust
them.
her. No, you would blindly follow her into sex.
Blindly follow her into sex. Like
makes
with
sense.
not a hesitation.
That's
Like
not
anywhere,
actually
anytime.
happening,
He's
so it's
got-
just a
yeah.
moot point in general.
He's
so.
got like a.
Yeah.
He's
That's
got
his
a-
fantasy. That's not actually
He's
real
like
life.
Captain Planet. Like she sends up the signal and he just
Yeah.
fucking shows up.
Then he
ready to
wakes
go.
No, I'm not saving her day. She's like doing the
It
favor.
ruins-
She's like,
it
oh, I'm
ruins
doing
her
the favor
It's
day.
her
now.
chore.
She schedules it in like, okay,
She would schedule it
I
in.
got 3 minutes before I fold these socks. Get to it.
The worst part is when I went to Schreiber's house the other day, she was folding socks. So what happened
That's-
like 2 minutes
No,
before
Harlow
that?
learned how to do that yesterday. Here.
Do any of your kids tie shoes?
Joey does.
How old?
Look at this.
So Joey-
Wait, he's trying to change the
Yes.
subject.
He is
You
very
don't-
hard.
You're talking about what do you mean? You were just
don't control the flow of this conversation.
Last time I checked, you weren't a host of this show.
Do any of your
I
kids
thought
tie
he
shoes?
He was talking about socks. You were
was-
saying you just said
You went
you brought
footwear.
up your child.
You went footwear. No, I get it.
You went
You
child.
went footwear.
Just learned.
I
and
need
now
a
we're
gavel.
socks.
I need a
Come
gavel.
on.
Shut up.
That was
Let
a
me-
beautiful
let-
transition.
It was,
to,
but it was in my mind. Once you said the socks thing, I heard Jeremy's voice in my head. Hey, I wear socks, and what goes on socks?
Well, but you know what's funny? When I see my daughter putting on, getting her shoes, that's what I see. We're like, do, like she's like 1.5 walking around, grabs like a shoe.
So, Paul, you
I-
excited
I've
to
got-
have kids?
I've got a theory. I have a feeling that Jeremy told his kids that he was going to be on TV.
And then he
he
went.
could show this podcast to them. He's like, oh no, there goes my plan. I'm not going to be famous anymore.
Wait,
Uncle Schreiber makes rude jokes.
Yeah, who is that guy? Why is he talking about sex and condoms?
Maybe
You
I
said-
should have watched the show.
Yeah, you should know what the topic was. We're always what's the thing that you get on our podcast?
We tangents.
Profanity? No,
Oh yeah, we get
marked profanity
all the
for
time.
these.
Now we have to be classified as explicit.
So let me somehow tie this together and bring this back to earth.
I think
Schreiber-
we should just move on.
No, moving on. But
Yeah.
Schreiber, Jeremy, one at a time. So throughout the last 11 episodes, I've been like, we have had different topics, and
I
we
should
talked
hope
about
so.
we've spoke about different things that Paul, that he needs to be ready for, this and that.
Mhm.
Any kind of words of wisdom, funny stories, things that he should like understand that this
Wait.
might be a big change.
Let me kind of explain why this podcast happened.
It's
Sure.
very open ended.
So
It's open-ended, but it's focused.
you were over at my house. It was me, you, and Jess.
Who's you? Because we can't, everyone's
Schreiber.
Okay.
If you're listening, and you should be watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe, smash that like button, all that fun stuff. You were at my house, Daniel Schreiber, sitting to the right of me
There you go. Give him a visual.
with Jess and I, and you were telling a story about putting poop on one of your kids had poop on their finger,
It's the worst.
and I was just like, "There's something here. There's something here."
Oh, like
And I
with the story?
googled poopy
Can
fingers.
I tell you what happened yesterday? Can I
Yes,
stop
Why
you?
do you keep saying
yes.
stop
This
talking
is-
about kids?
This is what happened yesterday. We're sitting at the dinner table, and my wife turns to Harlow, and she says, "Harlow, did you just stick your finger in your butt?" And Harlow's
This
like,
happens.
"No." And Chrissy's like, "Are you lying to me now?" And Harlow's like,
Is that the tone she has?
"Yeah." And Harlow's like, "No."
I'd be scared.
And Chrissy's like, "You're lying to me. That's worse than sticking your finger in your butt." And at this point, I'm sitting there. I was like, "This is one of the funniest conversations I've ever heard." And Chrissy just takes her
And
hand
smells it.
and smells
Oh
it.
my
She's like, "You
God.
stuck your finger in your butt." And I was like,
This is why my daughter came home with pink eye yesterday.
In butt. So
this
then
is why.
They do
she's
that,
like, literally, the teacher goes, somebody poked her in the eye, and I'm like, she's like, I saw it happen, and I was so upset. And then Penny's like, oh, and I just thought she got poked in the eye, and then Tracy took her to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, full pink eye too.
Oh,
so literally that finger that poked, no, well, it's done now. She's been on medication for a few days, which is
weren't we just at your house?
Hold on a second.
What?
Did Penny get pink eye
because of
from Harlow?
From Harlow's poopy fingers? Like,
we didn't see you since that did.
Why are you hate shaming?
It's like this is like national treasure.
I don't remember when we got together.
Yeah, but I ended up showing Harlow pictures, like Google images of pink eye, and it's like, this is what you get if you put your finger in your butt.
So I have a question. Why are your kids' fingers constantly
that's
in their butts?
That's not uncommon, just so you know.
Pink eye is everywhere.
I'm not talking about pink eye. I'm talking about fingers in their kids'
There's great
butts.
resources online.
You have no idea what they explore their bodies. And
that's what kids do, though.
Yeah,
because they're learning about their bodies every day. For a kid, so young, is like they're young, but doesn't mean they don't have feelings or they don't.
I don't know. We haven't really addressed that yet. Except for we have said keep your hands out of your butt and don't touch your butt.
Your
and
oldest
all that
is
stuff.
a boy, so once Penny's gets up to 4 or 5, whatever. But also, their every day is like a year, right? So much happens day by day. They grow up so quickly day by day, and so they're constantly discovering new things they like, things that are different because it's there. All that shit's on you, and you're
fair enough.
You're doing it, so you have to have those conversations about math and all that. Everything. It's all part of it, but you have to have those conversations when they arise. Like you can't avoid it or just say don't do that. You need to start explaining what's appropriate, like you said, in
100%.
rooms and stuff, and what's not appropriate.
So during dinner, Chrissy just decides to smell a poopy finger.
Yeah,
so let's not brush over that.
So then ultimately, the lesson learned at the table was not just don't put your finger in your butt,
don't
lie.
Don't lie.
Yeah. Right, that's
maybe
the lesson.
don't do it at the dinner table.
Or you shouldn't put your finger in your butt. There's you don't need to put anything in your butt in private.
Do you find that your kids lie to you?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and they're all small lies.
Can we get a counter of?
No, but we're talking. That's a fair. Listen,
what's wrong with my?
It's a fair connection, Jeremy. I'm on your side. Listen, maybe it's just the side of the wall.
That's an important conversation.
It is. It's not bad. I like it.
Oh my goodness.
The answer is yes. Our kids lie often. We haven't dealt with any serious lies because I don't think they're having serious issues yet to have those kinds of lying about something big, but it's sometimes just stupid or silly lies, or did you take that chocolate bar? No, or did you eat it? Right? We've been doing that a lot for Halloween.
From a store?
No, from our house.
I've noticed my kids more it's categorically it's lying.
Okay,
but it's not it's testing the border of what they can
get
do
away with.
Exactly, with speech and their mannerisms and talking and their interaction.
Yeah, they're learning about you at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
So do your kids lie to you?
No, not really.
Or do
they that good at lying?
It's the opposite. They might not want to say what happened.
Yeah, so they're scared. So more an example, saying that they did bad.
Yeah, somebody ends up crying because they were playing so hard, and you're trying to figure out how you need to care for the situation.
Yeah.
Right? Did somebody hit their head? Did she hit because there's sharp objects and there's 3 kids running around
daily?
So what happened? And they're like, because there's a kid crying, and then they're upset because they know they did something wrong.
So one of them hurt.
You know what line I've been using around my house often, and it's a line I've been using just to manage how much you actually have to deal with 3 kids that are so close in age.
Yeah,
I say to them, "That's a you problem. You deal with it." They come to me with these trivial issues. And and then I know that at the end of the day, I should be there. But she's like Max took the blanket from me downstairs. I don't care what happened in the basement when you and Max were playing and what you did with the blanket. This is a you problem. You deal with it anyway. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I think.
Listen, I like that.
It's so you have to walk that line because the reality is that.
Because I don't know the full story. She's coming to me with the blanket.
But you're not asking the full story. You're saying, I don't want to hear any more of the story.
You need to ask why.
But you know your own kids, and so you can pick your things. But
I would not do that with friends. If this is happening and they're coming upstairs and be like, I pretend like I really care about my friend's child and his feelings, and I really pretend like I want to solve the problem.
Do you change your voice? You get all serious?
Schreiber has a dad voice.
Do you have a
No,
dad voice?
I think that generally speaking, if we're talking honestly, that we have a very equal and open and just easy relationship between like the 2 sets of parents and the 6 kids. Because everybody's like,
You two, like you and
us too,
Jeremy.
like talking us too.
Yeah, we spend a
Yeah.
lot of time
A lot
together.
of
He's
time
got a
together.
pool.
Yeah.
So we hang out.
It's our summer house.
Like, no, but it's true. We spend a
summer
lot
at
of
the
the
Schreiber.
That's exactly it.
Do you guys just like show up at his house, or is there a
Sometimes.
notice?
No, there's.
No, it's a lot easier to manage when
It's
you.
almost pre-assumed on nice days. Like it's like
Yeah, I would
if
hate
you're not
that.
coming, it's because you're
the
doing
age of
something
kids,
else.
it's
I
very
would-
difficult
It's
to.
easy because
like,
it allows
yeah.
them to kind of co-parent, and
Yeah.
so it's not like it's more kids, it's more work. It's that it does give you a break. If Schreiber has to go to the bathroom, he's not just putting it on Chris. He's got
No,
two
no,
or
no.
three other
Well,
people. there.
did you tell the listeners yet
I
that our
did.
wives did co-parent when all 3 of us went on vacation
But
together?
also,
we didn't
yeah.
know.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So
What?
it made it easier.
But also
Yeah.
the kids play together, and then we can hang out, right? Or else you're also with your like.
yeah,
it's
it's
like
win-win, so that they have
It's-
their socializing.
Yeah.
and you
I
have your
would-
chill.
I would just hate having that place that. Maybe because I'm an introvert. Like I just don't want people coming over all the
Oh
time.
no, that's all I want.
That's
I just
why.
want. I
Schreiber's
just want to
always
party
been
all the
the
time.
Schreiber.
Schreiber's
He's
the
been
most
the host.
social
No,
person.
no, I just-
He's
I
the
like-
hub.
Yeah.
For me,
He is.
That's
a great
why.
guy.
That's why certain friends are no longer with us because you cut Schreiber off. You cut off the head of the dragon. He's the
Yeah.
person who connects
That's
everyone.
terrible. I should not have been put in that position.
No,
it's not
but
your. It's not your fault.
You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
your
Oh,
fault.
here he goes. He tries this every
It's
episode.
not your fault, Daniel.
This-
It doesn't work.
It's not your fault.
Thank you.
It's not your fault.
You know,
Oh,
I needed
Schreiber's
to
gonna
hear
break
that.
down.
I
He's
needed
gonna
to hear that.
Dental plan.
Well, I sent you guys a warm up video on Instagram before this,
Yeah, you.
I didn't see
getting
that.
you prepped for
He
the emotions of
he
dad
literally
life.
sat down his kids and was like, "I can't wait to show
Oh,
you." this
real talk. Can I
podcast."
tell you the one like that thing?
Okay,
Yeah,
this
let's
is
hear it.
I've
important.
been
This is
waiting.
it.
I've been waiting to tell you this.
We're 35 minutes into the episode yet.
I didn't realize before becoming a
That
dad
you
how
could
much
reproduce.
time you spend on the floor when you have a baby. Like literally, just like you're on the floor all day, just rolling
true.
around on the floor. You're laying on the floor. You're kneeling on the floor. They're rolling on you. You're
Yeah,
just
you gotta get to
living on the
their level.
floor. And I had no idea.
How
And it
much
was,
did you do tummy time with them?
Yeah, with the kid.
Yeah, with the
babies,
kid. I'm
yeah.
saying that
but
that's
he's got to be down at that level. So in other words, he's just saying you better get your back fixed because you're
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
rolling.
yeah, you're
around
gonna be
a lot.
rolling around on the floor.
I threw my back out on Monday because once you hit 40, it's just all fucking downhill.
It's once you found out you're gonna be a dad, you started having dad
I
pain.
was
you
like,
have to start
"Oh,
carrying
I
a
fell in
lot."
front of the subway. Oops.
So do you guys think Jeremy and Schreiber that Paul has what it takes? Do you think he's gonna be a good dad?
Oh, I'm gonna be a great.
Be
dad.
honest. It's not. You're not answering this.
I think
We know that you
I
think
think
you're gonna be a great
Paul
everything, but I
is
want
going to be an
their
amazing dad.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's going to be an
That's right. Give me
absolutely
a fucking-
amazing dad
opinion. Why?
because he's a fun guy.
I'm a fun guy. I'm like
He's
a
a fun
fucking
guy.
It's like
mushroom,
a I just took it out of my
He
mouth.
grows on you.
I do.
Oh,
Like a fun guy.
in the shade under
I
the
just
right
made that up.
conditions.
Did I just make that up?
Yeah, you made that up. No, you didn't. It's literally the most dad joke that's out there.
Yeah.
So because he's fun, okay, Jeremy, why do you think Paul will be a good or not great dad?
Jeremy thinks I'm gonna be a bad dad.
I think he'll be a great dad. You just have to be present. You're a present person.
I'm a present person.
Yeah.
That's what I said to you in one of the
Yeah,
episodes.
said-
but you
No, he said
can't.
I'm not a
You
present.
No, I'm
can't say
saying
I
you have to be
can't lift
present.
anything for 7 days.
Yeah, but that's like
Well, we
Because
talked-
as a dad, there won't be one day where you won't have to carry a child until at least they're like 2 or 3,
So
right? At least once, carry me up the
It's
stairs.
true.
So I know you hurt your back, but
yeah, this was the
This
one,
is- Man
through it.
the one and only time that's ever happened.
I know, like me, like speaking
but
of
you'll
being
have to
present,
work through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
me and Chrissy, because I work from home and she's on mat leave. So
Yeah.
when Harlow has her recitals at school that happen during school hours, only so many parents can show up, and we notice like her best friends whose parents may not be able to be there at that particular recital because they have regular jobs.
Yeah.
Like just being there makes the biggest world. We're not doing anything. You just show up, they see you, make eye
So-
contact, and you walk away. Like just being there.
Did you make a sign?
Is it?
So I go Harlow, go banana. So I said to Paul. So that's an obvious.
So I said to Paul.
I says to Paul. I says
Oh, it says.
that's an obvious example,
Yeah.
right? Like no, I'm saying that's a good example.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like going to the baseball, like doing that stuff is to be there. But we are now dealing with, and Jeremy, you can probably jump in on this, but we are now dealing with being there like mentally because it's very easy now to like be with your kids, but like not be there, like not be present, like you said, to be on your phone or to hang out next to them, but not actually mentally be there. And I find that's a bigger struggle than the obvious, like
For sure.
show up to their shows and show up to these things because that's like a planned schedule.
Like you
thing.
find
And
it
it's
hard
not
to
just your
actually
phone
care.
though. It's also like
No,
work. It's also
I
work.
found- It's work. You have
Right?
to. So it's you have to actively
it's focus.
be under. You have to actively think about that stuff because it's very easy to fall off and not be mentally presently there. Whether it's your phone or whether you're just thinking about work or anything else.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to mentally not be there. So that's the hardest thing I think that goes against your naturalness of pre-child to having child, because pre-child, all you have to do is really worry about is yourself. And now you have to worry about
your
someone else.
partner.
And my
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but it's different. It's different a little bit because your partner is at your age level, so they understand, right? But a kid doesn't get it, right? So
no, they don't.
That's why I
understand.
also think it's super important to have siblings. Like, good for you for wanting to have one kid.
let's
but
all
like,
stand up and tell them why you should have siblings.
Oh, I
It's-
mean, like, it's nice for them. It's a nice
Did you
thing.
hang out with your siblings often?
there's
You
a
know
big
what?
Asian-
No,
have you
you
ever,
know what? No,
have you
it's a-
ever
it's a
heard
legit-
an only child who said, "Oh, this is the way I enjoyed being
but
an
you know
only
what?
child"?
Paul's a legit question because my sisters are like 10 and 12 or so years old, like a generational difference.
Because your mom didn't make your dad wear a fucking condom.
That's how Schreiber's learned.
Jokes aside, your question is good, but having the siblings, I had like this like familial like connection growing up, and I don't know, like it's confidants, it's helpers, like it's a whole thing. It's like
The thing
they're
about
not on their
siblings that they
own.
say is they outlive you, right? So as a parent, I've always found that it's really important for me to make sure that my kids like are really good together and are very like supportive of each other because we're gonna be gone and they're gonna need each other, right?
Yeah, my mom always said to me, my sister growing up, like, one day you're only gonna have each other, so
Yeah.
be nice. And it is true because you do.
Eh.
And I also told him the example of, and again, we're just giving him more reasons. But I also gave him the example of like when your parents, if they still live in the country, sorry, Schreiber, are getting old and they need support from their kids. It's a big burden to put on an only child to have to deal with all that by themselves. But when you have a sibling, it does help. And again, there's no right or wrong.
There is no
here.
right or wrong.
It's
What I
whatever
would
works
say
best
is that
for you, but that does help because I've
It's
seen
just-
it.
it's
I've
just-
seen it with my
I
mom.
know-
What I
It's-
do think is closed-minded is just to make the decision now because there's no reason to make the decision. It's not like if you didn't make the decision, she's not getting more pregnant. Like you still have to like get pregnant. So like just to say like we're never doing it, it's like why even say that?
But a one-child
that's a
family
choice.
is still
No, it's
a very great
Let
way
that choice
I know
to
be.
so
live
many-
a
I
life.
know
That's a
s-
very special thing to have like two parents, and it's just a lot of attention.
So I
Your
will
child
say,
will grow up amazing
my
with
niece
just
is an only
two parents
child,
and no
and
siblings,
she
Paul.
is
Don't you worry about it.
amazing.
Yeah, I think that it's just way easier for the lifestyle that we choose and we want to live. It's going to be way fucking
In what
easier
sense?
having one kid
Traveling more. Don't
Just-
forget, there's an expense to more
Oh,
kids.
I know,
Yeah.
it's not a
I'm just
money
saying
thing at all.
that is a part
But
of it.
how is traveling easier? Because
How
anything you
is
can do
traveling-
with three, if it's not an expense thing, what are you talking about? Cars?
No,
rooms?
I'll tell
like
you
there's, Like 3
Because
and
Jeremy.
4?
there's two of you and there's 3 kids. How
It's
is that
not that.
No,
easier?
I'm saying
No,
2 and 2. I'm
Even
saying
2
3
and 2.
changes the game. I'll say
No.
3 changes the game.
No.
Okay.
Three
I'll
does,
tell you
yeah.
why.
All right,
I'll
what's
give
the
you
secret?
I'll give you the exact reason why it is harder. It's not the amount of kids because either way you're doing a kid one kid, 4 kids, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're doing kid stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not that. It just extends the time for when you get to do that again. So if Joey was the only one that existed, we can do more because she's now at an age that we can do more. But I've extended the baby lifetime in my family. So I'm constantly dealing with, it was a 2-year-old with Joey, then a 2-year-old with Sonny, then a 2-year-old with Atlas. That's 6 years of 2-year-olds.
That's
so
a
you're
lot of
just
fucking years.
That's why it's harder because Atlas still requires more care. So I've been
Why
doing
is
more
that? Why is
care.
that harder
That's a
versus
moment
just
in
like
time,
yeah,
though.
exactly.
What do you, no,
Because
no,
it's
because he has to do
it's-
2-year-old things with 6-year-olds.
No, it's not. It's that, but it's that. It's
And
that.
10-year-olds.
If you say that, let's just say you say 2-year-olds an example.
4-year-olds like
let's just say
2-year-old shows and 3-year-olds
forget about
like
forget about the
1.5-year-old
entertainment.
things.
Forget about the entertainment.
They're very similar mindsets.
Let me clarify. For sure they are, and they can adjust to each other. What I'm saying is that let's just say you said that out of the years that your oldest kid has been around, that the age of, let's say, 1 was the toughest year to do anything with that kid, right? Okay, so let's just say it's 1, 2, whatever, could be whatever. Instead of getting through it and then moving on and then being able to do the things you want to do, let's say traveling, let's say we're talking traveling faster, he can go to Italy, let's say, in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That might not be possible for someone like us who for 6 years or 9 years because the age in which that's kind of like not meant for them. A 2-year-old can't walk around Europe, but a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old probably could do it better. You're just extending it.
100%.
So it's like he wants a
So you
certain
want to
lifestyle.
start a certain lifestyle sooner. You don't want to be in the baby years for
Exactly.
your early
That has
40s.
nothing. No, it's an easier in my mind having one kid than 3 or 2. It's way easier dealing with one entity, and
Yeah,
it's
but-
simple math. That
But it's
2
not
is an
simple
additional-
math because Schreiber said it and it's true.
2's
when you
is
have
still a
one,
they
problem.
take care of each other.
They depend on you. So
Yeah.
Sonny and
Violet was the
Joey,
easiest baby ever.
Sonny
She was
and
my
Joey
third.
are independent because they're both
Yeah,
existing.
like after dinner, Max and Harlow go to the basement and play, and they're gone.
and they wouldn't have done that if they
You
didn't
would have had
exist.
to be
No.
dealing.
I would have
So
had
there's
to
a
be
lot
like-
of years. Right now, we're in a sweet zone. Me and
Excuse
Tracy
me.
have alone time. We have a 5'3" 1-year-old, almost 2.
You're leaving the
5'3"
1-year-old alone?
No, well, she's 1.5, and
Oh,
she's
okay. Well, that makes more sense.
she's communicating, and she's completely independent.
Yeah,
and
she should
our
just
other
start
kids are
working.
very responsible.
Send her to the fucking workforce. man.
But
To
either
the
way,
mines.
it's not alone. We're in the other room
I'm
cleaning up.
joking.
And,
You don't need to defend yourself.
no, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Obviously,
Don't call me child services.
Oh
either.
no, you just got
So-
you just got canceled.
anyway.
When we go out for the night and we leave hard. Okay, so
Nothing more than a 2-hour movie.
But this is what I have to say about the harder thing. It's totally, if I'm not like profound here, it's totally a personal choice.
Yes.
yeah,
Totally a personal. There's no right or wrong. The only thing I will say is the to ascribe this is hard or it's going to be harder or that was hard. I think that just doing that alone makes it hard because with kids, you can't get yourself out of the situation. It's not like, when we used to go on vacation together without any kids and half of the group wanted to go somewhere and half the group wanted to go
Yeah.
somewhere else. And you'd be like, that decision was hard, but really you just ended up doing what you want.
yeah.
Right? Hard is hard no matter what. You have kids, you have 2, 3, 8. It's all hard. But if you make it hard by being like, oh, this is hard, and like in the diaper, and this is hard, and like this,
Yeah.
then you're making it harder on yourself because it's a kid. At the end of the day, with a child,
And
you got like
it's-
a pile of diapers to change every day.
And it's all hard, and life is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the truth is that it's you start, and the reason why Schreiber, me, Jeremy say that it's premature to say it with as gospel that you're not going to is because with all that hard comes so many great elements
Yeah.
that you haven't even started to experience yet. And so to say that I don't want another one without even it's like saying I don't want a second ice cream without eating your first one. You might still be hungry.
No.
Or it's like for me, the perfect
He's like,
example.
no.
No.
It's like for me being like, I will never have another business,
Yeah.
just Goldies.
But there
Yeah.
really is only 2
I don't buy
groups of
that.
people.
I don't buy that at all. That's
But
so
anyway, but
different.
it's
Hold on,
just
there's a good opportunity. Schreiber, what is Goldie's?
Oh fuck.
Goldies is your local breakfast brand made right here in Toronto by old friends Daniel Schreiber and Daniel Carson. It is nutritious, delicious, and should be part of your balanced breakfast. Back to you, Carson.
Goldie's. This one's just right.
I expect a $15,000 check.
It's in the mail.
A $50,000 check, sell me 30,000 bags.
But you notice that the people who do say that they only want to have one child, there's no people who are saying I only want to have 2 children or I only want to have 3 children.
I always knew it was 3 children. Me and Chrissy talked about it our entire
But
relationship.
you're saying you
planners.
wanted 4.
No, I'm saying now, if you ask me, do I want more? I'd be like, yeah, I'll take a 4th. But like talking in our
Yeah, but
relationship,
you never knew. You didn't
See,
know
I
that
wanted,
was
I
That's-
potentially
that's-
wanted 2, but we were
Chrissy
Me
was
too.
Chrissy
open.
was
Yeah,
stuck
we were never
on 2.
like hard on 2.
Chrissy was
Like I
stuck
find that
on
people
2.
are harder on 1. They're like a hard one.
Because that's a choice. It's a life choice.
It's all a choice.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not as common.
I just think
I think-
it's hard to say. But anyways,
In
Are
the
you
whatever.
saying- Paul, are you planning to have a nanny?
You're both
Yeah.
active
Yeah.
careers.
Yes.
Of course, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
everyone has an active career. Life's busy. Life's tough.
There's
Life
different
is
types
busy.
of careers and different
Yeah,
hours.
availability, but
Yeah.
but it's still it's all
Let's
hard.
list all the careers.
So, Paul, what are you most excited for? I want to hear.
I am stoked to see what this kid looks like, and to eventually hear what he sounds like, and to just
Yeah.
have like a little me.
When's if
Yeah.
it's a little Jess?
Then it's a little Jess. He's gonna be a ginger. He is.
Yeah, because you're
That's-
kind of gingery too.
I'm like, my mom is like strawberry blonde. Jess is a redhead. He's gonna be a ginger. He's not gonna have a soul.
if
You get
he's
to
got
kick him once
if
a
he's
year.
got red hair and like green eyes, he's gonna be a very
He's
good
gonna-
looking baby.
He's gonna be a leprechaun.
Are you excited to teach him music?
Yeah, it's definitely the plan.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to force him into it because I was never forced into.
what did you
into,
call him for this episode? You called him Dan Jer or something?
Jordan.
Yeah, Dan.
Little Jerdan, you're entering music. Here are your first pair of skinny ripped
Yeah.
jeans.
Just
We
play
already-
around him.
We already got Vans my business partner
Oh
bought
yeah, those
like
Vans are the
the slip-on
best.
Vans.
They're so cute.
Yeah, well, I'm not wearing them right now, but
He's like, these ones,
yeah,
until
these
he's
are just
born, they're
ideas.
mine.
Yeah.
We live on Facebook Marketplace.
That's what I was trying to explain to him too.
Everything that Facebook Marketplace and Once Upon a Child, like getting a $2 pair of shoes is the greatest joy in the world.
I know.
It is like
Oh, so you're into it? I thought it was just Chrissy.
We've
What do you
talked
mean I'm
about it.
into it?
We've
I didn't know
talked
you
about
were
it.
marketplacing. I thought it was just a Chrissy thing.
No,
Me?
Schreiber's.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Schreiber's
Marketplace.
Oh, I
mostly
only
like
see
kids'
her
toys.
items.
Oh,
post.
yeah. I post like my own personal things if I'm selling my bike or a watch. But like I'm saying, if I need anything in life, like I want
You start
a
there.
new blower, like a leaf blower.
So you buy
No
from
blower.
Facebook Marketplace, but you sell at other
yeah,
places.
like we had a trade show and I wanted to get like a little a rocket ship toy. So I went to Marketplace, rocket ship toy. Somebody was selling it for $10 or $15, like around the corner.
Did you
Went and bought
negotiate?
it. On that I didn't. No,
No, You're like,
that
I'll
I
give you
didn't.
5.
But that's what I was telling Paul is that like before, it's your first kid, you buy all these things, they're so cute. You're like, I can't wait till he's wearing this and whatever. And then like once they start being active and they're like now like throwing up, snotting, destroying their clothes, you're like, I'll take any hand-me-down. I'll put this kid will be in this for a week before they're too big for it. And so you become less and less conscious of that.
3 kids.
Mhm.
I have never once even gave a thought as to where their clothes are coming from.
no clue.
No clue.
Really?
And every
no
time
idea.
I try to buy something, I'm
Just
like,
very
I don't
different
even
than
know
me
what
and Paul.
size they are. I don't even know what size they
It
are.
didn't even cross
There's
my
a
mind. I
list,
have
but I
no
don't know
idea.
if it means what I should buy
You
or
wanna
what they
know?
currently are,
No
and then I
idea.
have to.
You want to know how
I'm
dialed
just
in?
like-
So me and
we
Paul
live
are,
so much
are
close.
more, let's call it like untraditional men in many ways when it comes to music, art, and that stuff.
Yeah, we're
And so
Not the normal.
that stuff we're really into, clothing, fashion, that shit.
yeah.
And I went I was at a store recently buying some clothes for my kids because things were on sale. I liked it, and I was so dialed into their sizing that I knew that Atlas is a one size smaller for pants and one size bigger for shirts. And Jamie's like, did you remember to get blah, blah, blah? I'm like, of course. She goes, you knew that? I'm like, yeah. I love their clothes.
Yeah.
I dress them every morning.
Yeah.
Jamie doesn't dress the kids.
I dress the kids.
Do you?
Um,
So then you're looking
When
at
do the
sizes
kids-
all the time.
I've
no?
never looked at
my
a
kids
size
dress
or like
themselves.
concerned myself with like flipping over clothes for seasons or like what. Like the
Yeah.
only way anything happens,
The
I-
management of the clothes.
I put the clothes on. They
We do
walk
that
downstairs,
together.
and my
There's
wife
bins.
says, "Take that off
Yeah.
of him. It's too small."
But
or
do you
like
have the bin?
one time, this is funny actually. So one time I come downstairs with Max. And Max is like all happy and stuff in the pants that he's wearing. And I was like, this looks a little bit funny, but I'm going with it. And I was like, what are you doing? Those are Evan's pants. And they were like painted on and like up to here.
Nice.
And
So
I'm-
Paul would have loved
And
it.
I'm
That's
like,
right
Max,
up
take
my
off the
alley.
pants. And he's like, no. And I was like, you want to wear those pants to school? He's like, yeah. I was like, he's wearing the pants to school. Like, that's what's happening. So he wore the
well,
pants to
fight,
school.
it's not worth the fight
No.
with him for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
I can't offend Atlas in any way. Like if I tell him to
Well,
do
he's
something,
2.
it's not even that. He doesn't cry. He doesn't just cry. When he starts to cry, he will cry and make himself throw up. And so
he does
I
that.
can't.
You have-
I don't
you
want
have
to
a
get
cry
into the
throw
Sorry,
upper.
so many
oh
questions
my
about
God,
that.
you have a
Oh.
cry throw upper? Hudson
Yeah.
did that too.
Oh, is he do? So sorry.
purposely. Yeah, it's fucking
He's
purposely.
doing it purposefully
Yep.
while crying to win the cry.
Yep.
Babies do it in their crib too. All 3 of them did it in the crib. They would cry and sometimes throw
My
up
other
crying.
kids didn't
But
do that.
what's the outcome? Like, what does he get?
He gets what he wants because I don't want to deal with throw up. So I know that he's about to throw up because he's crying. Like I have a window to react, and I'm like, fine, fucking just take the damn gummies because I don't
And
want.
then he
I'd
just
rather.
stops?
I'd rather
You know what
it
you should get?
stops.
You
He just
should
stops.
order from Alibaba. Like no, well, yeah, but like a branded like
Paddle?
he does it to
like
control
dog poop
you?
bag or something, or like a kitty litter, and embarrass him. Be like every time he's about to cry, be
He
like,
won't feel
be like, do it
embarrassed.
in
He
here.
does it to
First
get
of all,
do it here.
I don't. I'm
and have
just-
like his face on
Sorry,
it, like a
that's-
face is
that's-
Atlas, of like it's
everything.
like this is the Atlas puke bag. You
Let
can
me
puke in here, Atlas.
let me just state for the Dad Collective podcast that me and Paul, although Paul's not a dad yet, we don't believe that shaming your child to throw up in a dog bag is going to be our approach to parenting.
Or kid.
Like,
I'm
how
not
do you
saying
feel,
I would do
stupid?
that.
Look at you throwing up
I'm
in a
not saying
bag,
I would do that. I'm
stupid
saying
little
you
kid.
should do that.
Oh, I should do
Because
that.
my kid doesn't have these sorts of issues.
Okay, so we're going there. Yeah, I'll look on AliExpress later tonight.
Wait,
It's gonna be fun.
He said get some kitty litter with his face on
I
it.
don't know what he said, but it all sounded wrong.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Paul, can you mark the time? 53 minutes in before Schreiber
Has it
took
been
this whole
53
podcast
minutes?
down.
So, guys, this was our last season. Thanks so much for watching. We're the Dad Collective.
You don't need to subscribe because we won't be here anymore.
In fact, you should unsubscribe. You should probably take us out.
But yeah, Jeremy, he cries until he throws up. And it's awful. So I don't
dad question. Back to
fight.
dad questions.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's a podcast. So yeah.
That is it.
So like your, I guess, other two girls they can be yelled at,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So in Atlas doesn't take that very well.
He does not.
Max, the same thing. Max needs love. If you get mad at Max even just a little bit, yell at him, forget him. Doesn't make him feel for you. But where I'm getting the question is with Harlow, she just doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And she just like runs her own show. And we haven't found a way to like
Get her to be afraid.
reprimand her.
Have you tried cat litter?
We'd be like, go to your room. Okay.
That's so
Okay.
She likes
go
the room.
to the corner. Okay. Go to the corner. She just sits in the corner, starts twiddling with her fingers. It's like she sits there happily.
But is she stopping the behavior you're telling her to go to the corner for?
Well, it's not. So it's.
Give me an example of why you would tell her to go to
why
the
is she
corner.
going to the corner?
So she, I don't know. I'm making this up. Yeah, she takes her glass of water and she dumps it in Max's plate.
Okay.
Because she thought it's funny.
Go ahead.
That's
And we'd be
pretty
like,
funny.
say sorry to Max.
Yeah.
Does she
And
face the wall?
and she's like, no. I'm not saying this happened, but this could happen. And she's like, no.
It's a
We're like,
comment.
no. It's like, what do you do? And then eventually it's like, okay, remove her from the situation. I don't know. Like, but she doesn't seem to like care.
About
And then time goes by and I'm talking like hours.
and she's still in the
She's
corner.
still in the
No, I'm
corner.
saying like she's just like it's from here to there. You know, it kind of like
is the next time she's not doing that? So in other words, she doesn't seem like she cares that she has to go do the punishment.
Yeah, but then
is
she
it
would never do
curbing-
that thing again.
So then it works.
Okay, I guess so.
Are you worried she's a sociopath?
She's just like an overconfident like
Yeah,
little
she's
girl.
like,
I
fuck
don't
She's
it,
know.
like
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
And you're like
exactly.
Echo
Yeah.
suits.
She wears Echo.
She does wear Echo.
That's a
Yeah.
Schreiber still
She's
wears
got the orange
like
backpack.
all the old school brands that we hang out because we do work in business together. We go to business together, and in business, Schreiber shows up in like Nautica jackets and fucking like Tommy Hilfiger.
Tommy Hilfiger.
and like
Tommy Hilfiger's cool again.
yeah, but
Is it
he's
cool
wearing-
again? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still have the things from the past.
Schreiber really got me into hip hop. He was super into hip
Listen,
hop.
Schreiber is the perfect example of like the person who was like the coolest who fell to the bottom of the coolest.
What? Hold on, that was not where that was
influencing
going.
before influencing.
Yeah,
was
he was
cool.
like he was influencing.
Schreiber
I don't know if I'm being like
That was a
giving
very
a compliment
back-
or
that
like
that
a
was a very
backhanded
backhanded
compliment.
compliment.
No, it was just an insult.
Let's unpack that.
No, but so it's working. And
So
your
what about the
kids-
middle one then?
What
How's the
middle one? And so my middle one?
No, his.
Who's
I
middle
know.
one?
Don't you?
Kid?
He's got 3 kids. There's a middle.
It's hard
No,
to
there's
keep
a-
track.
There's a
How's the
middle, yeah.
So no, Evan he's talking about because Maxie said was
Yeah.
was sensitive.
What's he like? Is he an in-betweener?
He's a baby still.
He's a baby, so
Yeah,
it's
so-
Evan's the baby, and
yeah.
then Max is the middle.
No,
So
I
we were
get that.
talking about
So Max is super sensitive.
yeah.
Then
Oh, and
how's the
Evan, hungry. He's a giant.
He's a
like,
hungry hippo.
Yeah, he's like 26, 27 pounds at like 10 months. He just started walking a couple of days ago. so-
Really?
yeah, he
He's
beat
driving
Max
his
by
car.
5 days.
Tough.
Yeah.
He just
He's not like
You gotta
walking
walk
around the
the-
house, but he's
Up
doing
until
it.
like the other day, he was like just known as like the house Roomba. He would just like roll around.
he's walking, started a drop shipping freaking operation.
Well, no, it's funny
He's-
because
He's thick though. Like he's thick
massive.
like the baby from
he weighs the
Dinosaur.
same
Like
as
have you-
Atlas, and
know the
Atlas is
baby?
almost 3.
yeah, and he's 10 months.
Yeah.
They're the
he's-
opposite ends of their
Yeah,
spectrum.
complete opposite ends
Yeah,
of the
he's
spectrum.
1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Atlas going to be like?
1% baby.
I feel like we went to the science center and it told us how tall we were going to be.
Yeah,
How tall do you think Atlas is going to be? Is he going to be a little guy?
it's hard. He
But you're not
started
a
off-
little guy.
I was a little guy.
Yeah, but you're not.
I'm not little
Carson's
anymore.
not a little guy.
no.
No.
Jeremy, you're just freakishly tall. Like,
Everyone's
I
little to you.
feel-
No way.
I'm 6'3".
How tall are you?
I'm tall. I'm as tall as
Me and you're the same. Like
7'5",
I'm like
5'8".
5'10",
5'11",
5'11".
Really?
I'm like 6 foot with heels, like for sure though.
But like I feel small.
You're
than you.
6'2"?
I'm 6'3", and
6'2", 6'3"?
and you're like
I'm just 6'4",
7'8".
6'4" and a bit.
no, you're larger than that, dude. You're 6'5" and above.
No, he's not above
No,
that.
no, I think I'm like in between 6'4" and 6'5".
Measure yourself right now.
Yeah, let's
Back
get
to
it.
back, back to back.
That's good.
No standing on your tippy toes, cheater.
So, like, how do you think he's gonna be? He's gonna be a tall guy. So what's gonna happen?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Do they
'Cause it
still do that
changes.
kind of test?
They do, but it doesn't mean shit.
Do you know what blood type your kids are?
Nope. Do you guys know what blood type your kids are?
I don't even know what.
I
Blood
don't know
type I am.
what blood type I would.
I don't know what blood type I am.
Neither do I.
I don't
I've
know
never
either.
had to use that information, so I never had to absorb it and maintain it.
Would they have the same blood type?
No,
How
they
does
don't.
that
I mean,
work?
they could, but
They
I don't
could.
think they have to.
Isn't there like
I
one
like-
major blood type, and
There's-
then
There's one universal
it's like
blood type.
everyone's
There's
and
one-
then there's a couple
Is that what it is?
I think
outliers?
it's O positive.
I'm not a doctor.
B positive.
We've had to. Say
What
that
are
quite a
the
few
blood
times.
types?
Yeah, we-
What are the blood types? Does
I
anybody
don't
know
think
the
that's
blood type?
Well, after this episode airs, we'll start.
So hold on. Listen, someone's got to wrap this up, and I'm getting close to it. So before we do wrap this up,
This is way.
I will
after-
start.
I wrap it up every
That's-
time.
We're not where we think we are.
Okay, I'm not closing.
Who cares?
It off
We
with
can
that.
just. I'm having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
We can keep going, but I do want to
Are
bring
you
it back. to
clipping
earth.
that? Are you clipping that?
So Paul is
Jesus.
What is the clipping that mean?
Fucking
I don't know.
Christ.
the best part about the Dad Podcast is that we use slang that is like no longer used and stuff. So like we're constantly trying to like stay cool with like the Gen Zers, even though that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
but-
We're just really trying to blow up on TikTok, and it's just not
Bet.
happening.
Do a dance, Paul. Do a dance.
I did an acronym to a younger colleague today, and she said I had to Google what it was.
She did?
What's-
AFK. I guess they don't use AFK.
Away from keyboard?
Yeah.
What the fuck is AFK? I don't even fucking.
I know
what
away
that
from
is.
keyboard, but did you type it to her? You said it out loud. Like, are you one of those people that say, "Oh, that's funny"? LOL.
No,
Yeah.
it was typed because I asked her to do something that I wouldn't normally ask her to do
How
because
are
I
you
could
away
do
from the
it.
keyboard if you're typing on the keyboard? That's
No,
just-
I'm away from a computer to check.
So why should it be AFC? Your acronyms are
Sorry,
stupid. This is why I don't understand.
she asked you to do something, and you on your computer wrote
No,
back.
I asked her.
No, I'm
I
not
asked
on my
her
computer,
on my
it's
phone to
Computer's
check
taking
something.
over.
This isn't me. I'm like,
I asked her to check something from my phone
You're-
because I
on
couldn't
the
access
computer.
the product
Got it.
like through the VPN.
Got it.
This is still going
But
on.
why else would someone use the AFK? Like, that's
I
true.
never use acronyms, but
So-
I just for
so
some reason
I
was just
only
like,
know
this is
AFK.
why I'm asking you to do this. I didn't want to because I
From
don't ask people to do
use
things.
AFK.
For,
I use it, and I know it from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they're gaming, and he walks away from his computer.
Oh, so it's like a warning. I'm about to be away from.
Yeah,
my
I
computer.
guess like AFK,
Is
and then you're
there-
AFK.
Well, if you guys know who are watching, comment down below what your favorite acronyms are and which ones you find confusing.
Mine is fuck off. Let's move on.
That's not an acronym, but we can figure out a way to make it one.
Yeah.
There-
So Paul is, we counted before this podcast, he's officially about 18 days away
18
from
days.
having this kid. Give him one at a time. What does he need to know in the home stretch? Is there something that you guys did, maybe the second kid, third kid, you learned to make life easier when you finally brought your baby, your first, second, or third baby home? Like 18 days away, what should he have in his toolbox ready to go besides the obvious, like make sure you have clothes for none of that shit. Like what's a dad kind of thing that made your life easier at the beginning, the first day, the first week?
Like a dad hack. What would be a
Jeremy?
dad hack?
I mean, the first child is definitely like if you're talking about just like the first.
It is the first kid, so go
There's-
with that.
And only.
The first week is really just like a shock to your core because you have a trouble sleeping. You have to support your wife.
And you've never slept like that before.
It was really something that I'd never experienced before for like a week or 2 weeks of just like constant stress and anxiety. I didn't experience that with the second and third children.
Yeah.
Like I had trouble sleeping through the first night, even at the hospital, the second night at the hospital, because of all like the
Beeps.
risks that they talk about wrapping the child and like suffocating the child and like the
Are they breathing? Did you put your
childhood
hand on their stomach?
The syndromes. It was very alarming and scary. And so I was always like literally like watching the baby and making sure it breathed. You know what I mean? Like that's just what I did. So I would say just like
So you're
take a step
paranoid.
back, like just like breathe, partner together and like support each other. But like you'll find that like some people you just want to make sure that you don't go too hard, focus.
On the scary things.
Yeah. Take a step back.
In other words, it's always very scary,
Yeah.
and you're gonna but like your
Yeah.
first kid, like you've never
Get some
had any
sleep.
practice, but now you have a life, and so like
I've
you're
still-
going to do the things that like you're going to put your hand on their stomach to see if they're breathing. You're going to just like,
Yeah.
did he roll over? Is he what's happening? All this shit.
I have a funny story about that.
I still haven't even
Oh
held
my
a
God.
baby. So
Yeah,
this
he hasn't
is-
even held his
I've
like
never even held a baby.
nephews.
So with Harlow, Chrissy, because the dynamic is different. You have just the one.
Yeah.
So Chrissy would take her, I guess, time or turn, I guess, but whatever time to sleep in the room. Let's say from
Did she put that in the calendar?
well, let's say she's like, I'm going to sleep from 8 until 12
Yeah.
p.m. and then I'm going to have to feed him again, and
Yeah.
you're with him the whole time. Right. So anyway, so I put Harlow in her crib or the bassinet, whatever she was in, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the monitor, and I swear to God, and you know exactly what you just said. I was like, she's not breathing.
She's dead.
She's dead.
I'm
She's
done.
not breathing.
She's dead. I'm
and
dead.
I'm looking.
They
and I was
don't
like,
do a lot.
and I
They
was like,
just sit
yeah.
there.
And I was like,
Yeah, they're
so
lumps.
I
And they're lying on you.
ran
and their
into the
faces
room.
in your chest.
Yeah.
I ran into the room, and I just like, I got at her so hard. I was like, Harlow! And she just like looked up at me like this, oh, and just like farted and shat
I was going to say, did she
everywhere.
shit?
I literally scared the shit out of her. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, not only are
A
you
lot
not
of-
dead, but I
have
gotta
to
deal with this now.
A lot
And the
of your,
shit's so much worse the first
but the
one.
feeling was so real.
So real.
It's like
Scary,
it's
man.
like
And
the summer
Tracy's
at
always
the
like,
pool.
she's fine. She's fine.
Which
and I'm
kid
like,
was it at the pool this summer when you freaked out? Was it Max or
oh, I think it was Harlow or somebody was floating.
somebody?
So we were
You
Floating on her
freaked out.
stomach.
Yeah, just like,
Yeah, they were
and I just
playing.
saw it from the corner of my eye, but she was just like relaxing. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't,
yeah, yeah.
like we were, everyone was watching. There was, but for some
Yeah.
reason,
It just hit you.
nobody's watching.
Yeah.
You know what they say: when everyone's watching, nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You
They
have to
say
be
that?
extreme.
They do say that.
They do say that
Because everyone
Yeah.
assumes someone
Who
else
says
is
that?
Oh, I
watching.
see what you're saying.
Right?
Okay.
So you can't assume somebody else is watching your children near a pool. That's a very risky space. But yeah, just enjoy the moments, man. It goes by so quick. I know it seems long.
I would say
What
food.
was your hold on?
If
Jeremy said something before we go to you. What did you say that I know you wanted to say this line, and so you segued into it. The days are say it, Jeremy. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, the days are long, but the years are short.
There you go.
Did you practice that at home?
He
I don't,
did.
it's
He
not
wrote it.
my saying.
It's true,
I've
though.
heard it from
It
somewhere,
is
and
true
just-
if you think about
really
it.
resonated because the days are long, and then before you realize it, especially when you look back at the photos, we have so many images and videos of our kids when they were younger, and it's
And you
like,
don't even see the changing happening. You're
Yeah.
like,
No,
what?
you
She
don't.
looked like that?
Yeah,
No.
it's
And you
crazy.
forget
that's
it so
That's actually
quickly.
one of the craziest
You
things. I
forget about
find.
it.
Yeah.
And then it's the opposite. I mean, especially for me and my parents, they live in Ecuador. So when I see them every time, it's like, you're like literally older than last time I saw you.
It's true. Do you FaceTime your parents though?
I do,
I
but
do.
like
But
it's
still,
more
it's
the
not
kids
resolution.
I FaceTime his
FaceTiming.
parents.
Yeah, they're great. Abba, Ima.
That's OnlyFans.
Yeah, I am the number
You
one
subscribe
subscriber.
to Ima?
I did.
Ima's OnlyFans.
No, Abba's.
Shit.
Yeah, that's where the
Abba's
fire is.
OnlyFans. Oh my
That's-
god.
Wait till you see what I do with bikinis.
Yeah.
17 safeties on your full subscription.
Yeah, your
So then,
parents
what
are
the hell is
crazy.
your advice, Schreiber? Not
So-
advice, but like to a kid, this helped. This really made a difference. Not the obvious.
So I don't know if this is obvious.
Drugs.
But food, and I don't think it's going to be as hard as much of a problem for you because you're in like culture of ordering food all the time. But
That's
just like having food and not having to worry about where food is coming from because you're going to be like,
Well, you should worry where the food's coming from.
no, you shouldn't. That's the point. It's
Like-
like have it at your house. Is the like
Like
Who
be ready
gets the
for
food in
just-
your house,
that
Schreiber?
just-
You or
I do.
Chrissy?
That's just what
I
I'm
do.
saying.
Tracy gets the food in our house, unless it's a Costco run.
I do like 80-90% of it.
Yeah.
But Chrissy does all of like.
What
the
do you
laundry.
order online? Are we all ordering online these days?
I'm not anymore.
You're
I
going
stopped.
in,
I go into like
I
I
do
go
both.
to Longo's once a week.
popping into Longo's.
It's right across from
Are
my
you
house.
You just running all the aisles, or you got to mention?
No, I run all the aisles, but I have an exact. I do most of the grocery shopping. Well, actually, maybe we do about a split even amount. But I go to the exact same order of my walking. I know exactly what I need to get every time. It's just a refresh weekly of the new thing, the same
Yeah.
things I'm getting.
Exactly.
I just
Every
eat on
time.
crust.
I know their
Chrissy's-
lunches.
Chrissy's always like, "Did you make a list of what you're going to cook this week and like what you need to buy?" I was like, "We eat the same thing week in and week out. 52
Goldies,
weeks a
only
year."
Goldies every meal.
Dude, my kids like they down Goldies. They had Goldies today.
Goldies
yeah.
is sweet,
They
man.
down.
you guys
it.
are paid to say that.
I'm not paid.
Wait, what
anything
is that on my
when I
shirt?
tell you.
I am no way affiliated with Goldies, but it is the best brand out there.
No,
That's
but there's
another.
something about
That's another.
strawberry lavender.
The brand is okay, but the XLs are amazing.
I've heard you're very good at
He's
Excel.
great with the formulas. So
I've heard.
what I didn't mention is that not only is this our final episode, but this was supposed to be, except we completely did not talk about it. This is our New Year's episode because we're about to enter a new year.
We
And so
are.
why don't we use this opportunity to close it off by everyone giving us your like New Year dad resolution. What do you want from a dad perspective? Not like, oh, I want to be whatever, but something like that you want to be better at as a father or becoming a father this year. We'll start with Schreiber?
It's going to sound stupid, but
Yes, it will.
I want to work on sharing in my children's emotions less. What I
What?
mean by that is like
You just
It's
said
your
you
problem
don't
now.
care.
No.
You just said you don't care.
No, like even
no.
I'm just gonna
I
build
have to
a
explain
wall.
what I mean by that.
Let him explain. Give him an opportunity.
If let's say like one of them is being shitty,
Yeah.
and like it'll like put me in a quick bad mood because they're being shitty, and now I'm being shitty, and now they're being
Have their
shitty.
mood affect your mood less.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I like if they're being shitty, just like not like kind of
So
Take it personally.
take it personally. I guess.
Disassociate a bit more.
Yeah, like not like
Like, I want to move it to another house.
yeah, you know, like when you're doing bedtime, for instance.
Yeah.
Like,
Do it over the
what Max
phone.
did the other day drove me nuts. It's like we're doing bedtime, but like every single thing that was en route between the bathroom and the bed,
Yeah.
he had to talk about for 5 minutes. Everything.
Okay.
Yes.
So in other words, to me, it sounds like you're saying you have more patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Sounds
great.
patience.
Yeah,
Let's
have
put a
more
positive spin on
patience.
that.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Let's have a
Okay.
positive
Patience for the
spin.
things that are so minute but drive a drill into your brain.
Yeah.
That's also mine. I'll be honest. Like definitely more patience.
No, you can't
Yeah.
steal
I
it.
can't. Okay,
You can
fine. I
never
won't.
have enough patience.
You could never have enough because your patience, if your patience will
Runs
ever be
out.
tested, it's going to be tested by your kids because yes, you naturally have more patience for your kids versus like I used to like work with kids, right? And so I used to have a lot of patience with kids, but since I had my own kids,
But they're
I have
not-
zero patience for anyone else's kids
Oh yeah.
because I'm so patient. I'm like a person who's been eaten by a vampire and the blood's drained. Like you're not getting more food out of me.
Sure. It's
Patience
really-
is a good one. I'll add that to.
Oh, you
to
guys
my
can't
list,
all.
too.
I want to take
But
patience
no,
away from mine. I'm not going to
If
make
there's
my
one
patience.
thing that I
Everybody's
want to
doing
do more,
patience.
My name's
given-
Paul, and I like to party.
like having all this time with
Oh,
like
mine.
babies and seeing how they mimic adults, I want to try focusing on doing more and saying less. with
Yeah,
the
leading
kids.
by example.
Because I found that as I've been doing that even more, like it's not just a New Year's resolution, I'm doing that right now, and it's like it's so different. Instead of saying clean up and you say like help me clean up.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's times where you want them to like be independent and do their own things. But
Well,
if you get
they're-
into a habit of just telling them to do things, like immediately with my daughter, when we make a game out of it, like she's 1.5, and we're like, let's clean up all these knives and put them away. And it's just like
Wait,
you
you-
enjoy
wait,
the
wait,
moment.
wait.
and
Wait,
you
hold
feel
on.
like-
Wait, your 1.5 daughter's
You
cleaning up.
invented the
Guys,
cleanup
you don't need to jump down his throat.
He
He's
invented
giving
the
you.
cleanup
out
game.
of context.
It turned off again. He's giving you an example.
He invented the
Gotta turn
cleanup
that
game.
He's giving you an example, and he accidentally
You gotta
used
do
the
that
word
again.
knives with his 1.5-year-old.
We
Let it
have-
slide.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about from the perspective of being of a parent, what are some lessons and ways that I'm trying to improve? Obviously, like I'm a Moroccan Jew, so I'm very loud. I've always been a loud person, so
Yeah.
keeping that in check. But at the same time, I also try and like actively make my kids be able to like experience that now, so that they're stronger. But in general, if we were talking about what we were just talking about, which was to be able to
Wait, can you go back on that? What do you mean?
Well, like for example, my
So they're
kids,
stronger.
My kids don't wake up when you make noise because when they were younger, I always run the ice machine, or like, so they don't jump around. I'll be like, "Hey, Violet," and she'll like look at me and smile.
Yeah, if he
because,
doesn't expose them
like,
to
if
the
you
fact
don't
that he's
expose
loud
them and
sometimes,
shock
and he's
them,
they're not
Gotcha.
going to be ready.
give them kind of these new experiences. Then when they see them for the first time, you can't help them manage it. So the more that you can help them manage
Got it.
those types of experiences in your home, then the more they're able to adjust into and externally. But yeah, I find that as my kids are getting older, they're a lot more engaged when you participate
Yeah,
than
for
when
sure.
you
Just tell them to go do
force
something.
them to do things and kind of use your power as a parent. So
Yeah.
that's one thing from a parenting perspective is what I'll try to do is it's always a balancing act, as as parents can be challenging, so be more patient, and then part of that is be more calm and participate more.
Well, it's true. The more the things that you ask your kids to do, whether it's an actual task or it's like a thing of respect, it's so much easier if you're able to change your own behavior if you're not following that, and to just do it, because you will find yourself giving less instructions and feedback if they're surrounded by a person who's showing respect to begin with. So if I'm respectful to Jamie or I'm respectful to my kids, I don't need to tell them to be respectful to me as often as somebody might who doesn't demonstrate it, right? So
Mhm.
it saves you from that that side of things.
You know what I found kind of like apropos, like doing stuff with your kids and letting your kids experience stuff, is that I found very much like, especially Harlow, because she's my oldest, she'll want to do things. So she'll be like, Dad, I want to wash the dishes, or Dad, I want to fold the laundry.
Yeah.
And my initial instinct
to say no, because you don't want to.
No, I'm just going to do the dishes and stuff. And then I have to remind myself, it's not because she thinks she's going to do the dishes the best. Nor is it because the dishes are going to end up clean after she's done.
She wants to participate with you.
She just wants to do it. She just wants to get into.
She's
never say no when the kid wants it. Hudson be like, "You want to play tennis? Let's play tennis." We're like, "Absolutely, let's
whatever
go
it is,
right
exactly.
now."
Yeah, exactly.
You play tennis?
I actively play tennis.
Oh, I didn't
really?
Especially with
We
my
didn't,
kids.
we didn't know
It's
that.
hard though. Like it breaks my heart. Like because Harlow's so into it, she often is like, "Daddy, I really want to go rock climbing." Like, I'm sorry, we can't take you today. She's like, I want to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't take you rock climbing tomorrow because it's not like a let's go every Tuesday sort of thing.
Speaking of which, since you brought it up, this is live on the Dad podcast. Joey went to a rock climbing party.
Yeah.
First time rock climbing. I mean, she does it at camp.
It's on her page.
But she loves it. So like, we gotta go. We gotta plan a dad date, and we'll find time because Joey is a fucking. She loved it. Like loved it to a different level I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
So all right. So are any of these moments of advice helping Paul, or are you more confused now at the end of season 1 than when you stepped into it?
Yeah, no, definitely to be more present is something that I know I need to have, and more patience because my freaking fuse is short as it is. So definitely patience shall be important.
Yeah.
I think prepare yourself for like I don't want to say like a standard emotional overload, but like there's a whole like wave of like emotions and reality.
Yeah, it's like unlocking a new level in a game.
Exactly that, man. It's like you're just through it on the other side and like, holy shit. And it's never the same again.
Another thing that you proved to yourself you could do too, like it's a challenge every day, right? So it's like a confidence booster too, to be like, I'm a dad. You know, it's a tough job.
It is.
I don't think it's that tough.
It is.
Every day
I don't think it's that tough.
It's not a tough job, but it's easy to not.
Y'all are so conflicted. This is hilarious.
No, it's not tough in the sense that like
you got to do
physically
it. It's
hard.
fun.
You're there. You have no other choice to do it. So it like Trevor said earlier, it's no longer becomes like a choice of like tough or not tough. It's like it is what it is. But it's tough.
It is.
To be
you never get to choose to sleep in.
It's tough to be aware of everything.
I think there's
6 a.m., 7 a.m. for the rest of your life.
Things that are tough.
You have to get somebody water.
When you're like, I'd really like to go on vacation, but I can't. That's tough, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to do the thing that you want to do.
So now that we got Paul all excited for this, I am excited to announce that this is the official end of season 1
and our friendship.
I am so happy to have had you guys here. This will be the first and likely the last time. And we will see everyone, and by we I mean just me and Paul, for season 2. And there's only one place to catch season 2, and that is
this is my thing.
This is your thing.
I would like to say I'm starting my own podcast called Abba Sababa. It is going to be a much better podcast than these idiots podcast. It's going to be 1, 2, 3.
Maybe if we had a chair, we would have.
It's going to have chairs for everybody.
In the actual podcast.
Chairs for the people in the street. Chairs for the people inside, outside.
I don't think they're having any guests.
This is going to be chairs like unbelievable amount of chairs.
Schreiber. Go sit in the corner.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, guys, and keep locking in, Paul.
All right, if you're listening on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Radio, iHeartRadio, all the audio things, make sure you rate the podcast because that really helps us out. So a lot more people can listen. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe so you know when we upload, and put in a comment or two.
Yeah,
maybe we want to
keep
talk
us
to you
company
guys.
in this in between season 1 and season 2 lull.
There it is.
We want to hear from you.
Season 2 is coming up. Brand new set, brand new ideas, a whole lot of fun.
Brand new friends.
Brand new friends.
We're gonna hire actors for
Tell
friends.
Tell them that you want us back.
And
tell them in the comments.
On that note,
I'll see you on the next one. And I'm Daniel.
And this is the Dad Collective Podcast.
Season 1 wrap.
We love you guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.